Mm. Tastes like money in a cheap glass, and yours tastes like cheap in a money glass. And then I put on this. I'm like, this just looks like me every day, but whatever. That's fine. I tried. And then I failed, apparently.
We were both wearing like mouse colors.
But I heard that what are those Amish people
Yes.
like fuck through a hole in a Hi guys, it's Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a special guest, Nicole Brenny from Listen to the Stars. Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
I'm always so good at this, like even last time. So Nicole's been on my channel before, but guess who hasn't been on my channel in a long time is me, because I took like a long hiatus from YouTube, and I thought, who better to come back with than Nicole? Because I actually kind of took a weird hiatus last year when we did our collab too. That's weird.
Yeah. And I'm like always on a weird hiatus for my channel.
I apologize to all my people who only see me on YouTube. I do have my astrology everywhere for you to eat from. I don't know why I said that like that. That's weird.
Because of the Taurus energy coming in 2022 that we're about to talk about.
Yes. Okay. So happy New Year, you guys. This is going to be out on New Year's for you. We are going to do 2 prediction videos. One of them is going to be on my channel. The other one's going to be on Nicole's channel. So the first one we are going to do is world predictions, where we talk about everything that's going to happen in 2022 and the energy and everything. We might talk about transits, pull cards, read the United States chart, and the Pluto return. However, we don't have like charts up for the entire world. So if you're interested in the entire world charts, we will talk about the world though. Oh my God, I just realized, sorry, I'm like running my mouth, but I'm like, we're gonna do world predictions. We only have the USA's chart. So isn't that the whole world?
Well, we're going to talk about the world too, but because we are from the United States of America, we will tell a lot about that. But yeah, we will look at like 2022 in general. And there's like a lot there with the numerology and the
oh yeah, it's gonna be really fun. And then after that, Nicole will have all 12 signs on her channel. So go to her channel. The link will be below to the video, and you can watch us talk about your sign and what's going to be happening with that. Now we also have champagne. So
yes.
But it is New Year's. So happy New Year. I'm going to open this.
Oh yeah, we should open.
And I got the Vouv, and you got
the cheapest one. Because I didn't want a full bottle. I got 4 mini ones and Alyssa got 2 big ones.
Like, what if it's earlier over here? So after I drink the champagne, I'm gonna be like, wait, what do I do now? Go to sleep at like 10 o'clock?
And I have my New Year's hat, which looks like a witch hat.
I love it. And you look like the tree behind you. It all matches.
I know, it's blending. It's like camouflage. I should be sitting over here.
Or maybe like,
okay, so I'm gonna pretend
ears popped. Just like if you're wearing headphones, I guess this should be like a headphone thing. If I can, there you go. Oops.
Happy New Year.
It might have gone on my computer just now.
Oh, it's okay.
Cheers.
Okay. Oh wait, hang on. I had to put it into my silver. This is a real silver goblet, so I don't have an expensive bottle of Cliquot, but I do have a pure silver goblet.
Oh, cheers! Cheers! Oh my God. Tastes like money in a cheap glass, and yours tastes like cheap in a money glass. I'm sure.
I know, it really does.
It's funny, when I was like really, really poor, I like drank Andre's vodka, champagne every night. Like I would just, not every night, that makes me sound like an alcoholic, but it was pretty much like, it's like a $4 bottle of champagne, and the bubbles and the effervescence and stuff kind of make you happy. And it was something like really good. But then later on, I had money and I bought the cheap bottle, and I was like, this is garbage. Like my palate became so refined.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, but it was weird though, because I was like, when I had no money, that stuff was like the best thing that I could ever have. And then you have some money and you're like, ew, what is this peasant champagne? So I get from both sides. Also, this doesn't taste much different to me than other champagne, even though it's much more expensive.
No, this tastes really good. Actually, I just drink kombucha, which is also as satisfying as this.
That's true. That reminds me, do you watch Cody Ko or Noel Miller?
No, I don't.
Okay, well that's cringe. And they talk about videos, and they did one a few years ago on the Kombucha King. And then he actually invited him to his mansion. So this big kombucha guy, and like he just has kombucha like in all of his fridges. And I don't know, we don't have to talk about this. This is a world prediction, but they're really funny.
Alyssa, did you realize we literally have the same backdrop, like a pink square with the Monstera Deliciosa? Like I have the real ones and you just have the
What the hell? That's really weird.
Isn't that creepy?
That is creepy. Me and Nicole and I are like always doing weird, creepy things. Because, oh my gosh, I even have it. Oh, I threw it somewhere. Here, I have to get it now.
Oh, wait.
Because I found mine as soon as like I came back.
Yeah, mine's in my purse.
This is mine and Nicole's friendship scrunchie we got in 2019, summer 2019. And now we have friendship kitties.
Yeah, one of mine's right here. That's why I can't get my friendship scrunchie.
Oh, it's okay. Well, I can't get our friendship kitty because my daughter took it. It's her cat now. So it's so
fun.
Little like girl, she gets really jealous of me holding her too. And I don't know if it's because she wants to hold her, which I think it's part of it, but also she doesn't want her holding, like me holding the kitty and not her. Like there's two things going on with her in that. So the kitty is just hers until she goes to sleep.
I don't want my cats to drink this champagne, but I don't want to, it's like freezing cold in that metal silver.
Oh my God.
I'll still hold it. I'll freeze.
Okay. So we should get into predictions now because everybody is interested.
Everybody's waiting.
Whatever. There's timestamps. People don't have to listen to us banter.
No, it's fun, I think, and it's interesting. And also, if you guys are wondering why maybe me and Alyssa have like the same backdrops and weird things happen to us that are similar, it's because I'm an 8 of diamonds in the cards of truth. And the path that I walk on is a 7 of diamonds, and Alyssa is a 7 of diamonds. So we have like the 7 of diamonds energy very strong.
Yes. Then if you guys don't know what the cards of truth are, you should. Well, Nicole, do you have like videos and stuff of them? Because I know you said before you don't put all your information out there.
No, I have the videos on you guys actually can sign up for my class. You can just watch the videos. So at any time you can sign up for my class and you just watch the playback. And then whenever I run it, I do live sessions. So
I didn't know that you do like a playback video. That's cool.
Yeah. And like if I run it, then past students can come once a month to the sessions. So I just kind of do it in a weird way, but
yeah, no, that's cool. Because I didn't know, that's actually something really interesting for me because I didn't know how you do that. I don't know anything like a lot about the cards of truth. Everything I learned is through you. So I was thinking about it. Like I should know more because when I was over at your house and you were telling me like, okay, so your ecliptic card is the 2 of diamonds, or mine is, I think.
Yes.
Yes, right? Yeah, I remember. So the 7 of diamonds is my card and the 2 of diamonds is my ecliptic card. And when you were explaining that to me, I was like, holy fuck, that's cool. Because like, it felt like something. It was like the manna, like where you're walking your path and you just get a little bit at a time, just enough to push you to the next moment. And it's like, that's very profound and just is like, has sat in my head ever since. So then I was like, I want to learn more. Maybe I'll join your class or I'll watch those videos. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but we both have the 7 of diamonds card. So yeah, we have a lot of things and we have a lot of south node, like north node conjunctions. Your moon's on a degree away from my north node.
Yeah, so Alyssa brings out my moon.
Mhm. Too.
So when she came over, I was like cooking and cleaning and doing everything and like, just don't move, just sit around and do
Let's
nothing.
go get you
Got
a
it.
cat.
Yeah.
If you like made me get a cat, that you didn't, but you're like, oh, Alyssa, there's probably barn cats. Do you want a cat? Okay, I called them. We're on our way tomorrow. We're gonna go look at the cat. Now, if you don't want the little cute, adorable kitten, you don't have to take it. And you're just like,
And they all had astrology names. It was so weird. Okay, anyways, we should do the world predictions before we
yeah. Okay, so this beautiful energy, what we got going on right now. You can go first if you want to, and then I'll add because
Yes.
I'm scattered.
So I'm just gonna show you all a little bit about which one should I start with? The USA's chart. Yeah, I can do that. Here we go. Okay, so this is my transits screen in my software. So one of the main transits that we're going to be experiencing for all of 2022 is the North Node, also known as Rahu. So it's shown by RA. That will be moving into Taurus in January, and it will be there all of 2022. So we're going to talk about that for each of you individually on my channel, but on this world predictions, I'm just looking at the USA right now. We'll get into the world too, don't worry. But I do feel a little worried for the USA in terms of everything going on with coronavirus when I see that the North Node of the moon is going to be going into the 6th house of the USA. The 6th house is the house of disease, illness, obstacles, things like that. But I really think about disease. So like if I'm reading for a client and I see they have Rahu transiting their 6th house, like even like if there's no other factors showing this, 95% of the time clients will experience some kind of a weird health issue, even if it's very, very mild, and they will try to go to a traditional doctor to be healed. And the doctor is like having to run a million tests or not really being able to give a proper diagnosis or like not really actually knowing what's going on. So typically what's recommended is that when a client is going through the North Node in their 6th house transit, like the USA will be in 2022, that they instead go towards alternative methods of healing, like naturopaths or homeopathy or like energy healing, things like that. So I do feel like in 2022, there will still be different viruses, different illnesses, different things coming up with it. And I think it will reach a point where maybe traditional medicine isn't really like, I don't know how to say it, like really taking care of the issue. So I think people are going to start, well, I don't know if they're going to start to, but it would be suggested or it could be encouraged that they look at alternative methods of healing and boosting immunity. And I personally know when I went through this transit, I had like a weird lump in my armpit and I was like, oh my gosh, I have cancer. It's over. Like it was so painful and so big and it was hurting so bad. And I went to the doctor. They had no idea. They're just like, just watch it for a while or whatever. So I just like put a hot washcloth on it every day. And it like, I had to sleep a lot. And then it just went away on its own. Like there was like no medicine or no treatment or anything. No one knew what it was. They were just like, I don't know. So like I just ate healthy and slept a lot. And that's also recommended. So in terms of the USA and health, just to get enough sleep, enough rest.
Yeah. You know, something else is that Saturn, is in the sign of the moon. It hasn't hit the moon of the US's chart yet because it's Aquarius moon, but Jupiter is going to be away from it. And so there's been some like deep emotional trauma and wounds. I believe that like the US has, right? And so people within it, because the moon's also the collective in any like mundane chart reading. So if the moon is the collective and the moon is the people are traumatized. And that's actually interesting too, because the South Node is with the moon. So the trauma comes from the beginning of the United States. Obviously, we know that we were built on trauma. And when Saturn first went into Aquarius, it really freaked like the world out, just like it did back in 1991 or 1992, whenever it was. Wait, 91, 1993. Saturn was in Aquarius back then, and similar riots happened. And like, I can't remember all of them, but there are a lot of like upheaval, and there's a lot of things that came out of the Saturn and Aquarius transit. However, like this year, Jupiter's been with it this whole year. So Jupiter's been kind of protecting everybody from a lot of weird hell. And I was just looking when you were, as soon as you said like holistic healing, I was like, yeah, because Jupiter is going to be in Pisces now. It's going to be outside of this Saturn energy. Not only is the North Node going in the 6th house where it's going to be like destroying people's like physical health and even like mental health too. Jupiter is going into Pisces, into like the lower mind, you know, like, so it's going to be expanding our, hopefully, like making people really, really realize that they cannot keep like fighting this fight without like going to a more spiritual place and opening up the United States like 3rd house of spirituality. Like it's because it's got spirituality all up in that 3rd house, even though it doesn't like rule it. And you do whole sign, right? Because you're Vedic.
Oh yeah, this might be kind of confusing for anyone, but it is whole sign.
Yeah. And so my yeah, so you have Pisces in the 3rd, right? That's what I'm looking at.
You should just look at where the cusps are. So you see these little cusps, like that's going to be the most like easy.
I just changed mine actually to whole sign too, because I do believe when you do any sort of like mundane, you should look at whole sign, any sort of predictions anyway. So the fact that I didn't have it on is kind of, that's my bad.
Okay, can I talk a little bit about that moon? Because I don't want to forget, it's really important.
Yes, yeah, please jump in and kick me out.
So speaking of this moon, that was one of the things that stood out to me really strong. Look at, I need to take this off because I already have enough Christmas tree.
I like it though.
Okay, there is something really important in Vedic astrology. So some of you might not have heard of this. It's called Sade Sati. It's the 7.5 years of the moon, or of Saturn, sorry. And it's whenever Saturn is in the sign before, during, and after the moon. So if for the United States chart, it's whenever Saturn is in Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, we are experiencing Sade Sati. And that's a really interesting time of spiritual trial, I'll say, emotional and spiritual trial. So it is very, very painful for people. It's like a very, very painful period for people in general. Like if I don't even think I remember being in it because I was so young. But like people that are older, my age, that are going through it, it's like everything terrible happens to them. Like their dad will die, their dog, their kid will get some disease, they'll lose their job, they'll lose everything bad tends to happen to an individual then, because Saturn is Saturn is such a different energy from the moon. The moon is so like soft and receptive and open and flowy and all these kinds of things, where Saturn is like structure and discipline and everything. And really what Saturn is trying to do with the moon is like to really refine and restructure the individual in such a way where they become like incredibly resilient emotionally, creatively. I know that doesn't make that much sense, but emotionally, creatively, like in their solitude.
It does though. So I have Saturn opposite moon. And so I was going through that during my Saturn opposition. And that was all in high school and like right before. And it was freshman year of high school. This is a weird thing because it kept coming up. And I was like, why is this coming up? Like stupid trauma, go away. But I want to share it because I'm like, it sticks with me forever. And it's a huge deal. This guy freshman year, like the guy that I had a big crush on, he was my lab partner in science, and someone told him I had a big crush on him. So in front of like, there are like 7 football players who are all like super popular, and they're in like a study hall. And this guy's like, well, Alyssa thinks you're cute. And he goes, ew, Alyssa, she's super ugly, right? And then all of the boys laughed. And someone told me this, the guy who was with them, who told them that he was cute or whatever. He's not even that cute, okay? But he was laughing while he told me, and he goes, see, you don't have to like him anymore. And I was like, holy fuck. But after that, nobody, like, I never went to like a dance with anybody. And like, as a Libra, this is a big deal, right? Like nobody asked me to the dances. Like I always went alone, and I didn't go to my prom, and I like had none of like, no relationships or anything. And I remember that moment in time, like being so traumatic, and how it started like high school for me being really traumatic because everybody treated me like I was a leper. And after the guy uh, told me, I mean, after like he told him that, he wouldn't even sit next to me in my lab anymore. And the teacher didn't do anything about it. He didn't want to sit next to me. So I felt like I felt like a leper, and I felt like so afraid of rejection that after that, like literally couldn't like talk to a guy that I liked or anything, because I was just like, they're not just going to say like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't really like her. They're going to say, you're disgusting, you know? And I could feel that. And it stuck with me so long after that. But it also made me just kind of, I didn't really trust like male energy after that either. So like, and I feel as though that kind of thing saved me from a lot that I would have gone through in my 20s, where I was more very observant and cautious of masculine energy, and I didn't really want it around me. And not making this about me, but I want to say that like when this is going over on a collective level, this is like the United States looked at all y'all and we're like, you guys are ugly. You're disgusting. You're pieces of shit. We don't give up about you. Okay. Like you're like, oh, I love you, America. And America's like, fuck you. And that's how like you feel. And you're like, I gave you my money. I gave you like my time. I worked for you. I did all these things for you. And every time I give it to you, you say, this is disgusting. I don't want it. It's not enough. I need more from you. And that's even like with it being in Aquarius, or how it was in Capricorn before, or it's going to go into Pisces. It's moving us collectively from saying needing the authority of Capricorn to like trying and forcing the man's head to equalize us and make us all equal. Because Aquarius wants things to be equal. And then it's going into Pisces, which is kind of a big like let go and let God moment in a way.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, it's like, it's not about the politics. It's like, what's bigger than that? So anyway, you can interrupt me now. Just had to share that.
That's exactly right. And that whole like, I don't want you sort of thing with Sade Sati, it's a very isolating time. So like, that's exactly what you'll feel is rejection, or like if you're in a relationship, maybe that person's like long distance, or a lot of people go through divorces or separations or just needing a lot of alone time. So, I mean, all of this stuff with quarantine started happening when, Saturn was in the Sade Sati period. Since Saturn's going to get closer and closer to the moon, I feel like even if we ourselves are not like quarantining every day in the US, I do think that kind of like border control and kind of keeping ourselves like apart from other nations will continue. Like I feel like there's just something that's kind of going on there. And it's really more, if it's not like on a physical level, this is the third house. So it's a lot about like communications and communicating with other countries. So it could even be kind of like about censoring, or like kind of keeping media very insular, stuff like that. So it's, Saturn in the third house is not necessarily bad, because Saturn in the third house for the US is Aquarius. So it's like manifesting things there, new ways of communicating, new media. And I say new, but it's just because it manifests things. Like maybe it just manifests more of the old, doesn't necessarily have to be new. So a lot of media attention, a lot of media focus, a lot of communications focus, a lot of like, even focus put on like learning and study and things like that. That could also be a theme coming up. But at the same time, because it is Sade Sati, it's just like not a good sort of combination, and you can't really sugarcoat it. I just feel like in the next few years, there's like still some stuff to play out, whether we like it or not, especially in the next 18 months with the Rahu transit,
Yeah. And we have 4 more years of that Sati Sati, because we have a year and a half left of the Aquarius Saturn, and then 2.5 years of the Pisces Saturn. So it's not going to be like, yeah. Ooh, I kind of got chills Sorry. Weird.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it's really crazy. It's like, I mean, there's just so much that there, I don't want to think of anything in terms of like good or bad. It's just, I don't think that people, even with Jupiter and Pisces, there's going to be a lot of optimism and everything like that. But I just feel like there's still stuff playing out, and I think it's going to play out for a while.
yeah. And even like Jupiter and Pisces, because I mean, I experienced just like weird highs and lows of it yesterday. It's because it's at 0 and that's my rising, but I was realizing something about it like pretty hardcore, is that it can easily make you feel very haunted by certain things. And because it's Pisces is like the natural ruler of the 12th house. It's your unconscious sign. It's the siren that pulls you under. It's like you don't go to Pisces energy. You go there when you're wearing rose-colored glasses, and then you take them off and you realize you're like drowning and you don't know how to get back up sometimes. And the only way out is through. And so something will happen to certain people, and certain people will choose to like keep those rose-colored glasses on and pretend that things are going all right. But as soon as Jupiter goes into Aries on May 11th, it's going to switch a lot of energy, and then it's going to go back into Pisces. So there's a weird, for anyone who's not really paying attention to their unconscious desires, those are going to kind of get swept away for a little while, like over the summer until is like October 29th, I think. But at the same time, people who are like, okay, this is what I really want, and like really admitting to it and really trying to face their fears and everything, I think will have an easier time this year. And yeah, because even when Jupiter's going through the 4th house, it's really hitting home. There's something going on. I think like kind of people might even start be wondering, like they really might wonder if the United States should die, like on like a real life, because we're going so deep into this. This is my home. Like, what if it was just gone? I don't know.
Okay, no, you're just getting me thinking a lot about like the intangibleness of Jupiter and Pisces. And like, honestly, I feel like this is what is going to bring about the metaverse is Jupiter and Pisces. Cause it's like Jupiter, okay, Pisces is like not having a body. It's like literally like you're in the spirit manifesting and creating and whatever, like, or you're like in the space between death and birth in a way. It's like right before that birth of the first house. So it's like, I feel like that metaverse that, and like with the 4th house being implicated, I think a lot more real estate transactions in the metaverse will happen.
Yeah, no, it's actually, I keep thinking about the movie Lucy. I don't know if you saw it, but when she really starts using all of her brain, her body starts coming off of her, like it just starts dissolving, and she's like trying to catch it. And there is a lot of that energy and like feeling to what is happening. And then when Jupiter goes into Aries in May, it's a kind of like a snapback or like a pullback into like reality and who you are. And
Yeah.
that's, I don't know if I want to even like look into that more. It's actually in the 5th house though. It could be that everybody just starts partying. Like just is like, fuck no. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, also, Jupiter, I do want to say too, like, I don't know, there's just so much going on, but that Jupiter and Pisces in the 4th house, that can also be pretty good. I'd have to look at more, but I was seeing indications. I guess I was looking at the cards of truth, maybe it was. I was looking at the cards of truth, and I was seeing like, honestly, everyone's talking about like the economy and how bad it's going to be and all these things, or like how bad it is. And I think what's interesting is, okay, the USA is 245 years old. And that means that the USA on July 4th of this year started a new 7-year progression. So that means that the energy starting in July really shifted in the United States and will remain in this shifted energy for 7 years.
And this was 2021.
Yeah, in 2021. So like we're already in this like new phase, which is the energy of the 8 of clubs, which is all about like innovation and creativity and inspiration. It's actually more of a card of inspiration than innovation, but lots of like feeling in the flow and feeling connected to new ideas and everything and all of that. And like, honestly, the cards for finances are like quite good. You have the 6 of Diamonds, and it is related to like debts, like maybe paying off debts. You have the Queen of Diamonds, you have the 10 of Diamonds, like, and these cards aren't, yeah, like a Saturn star, but they're not that terrible. So like, I also think that something will happen for the USA for them to figure out financially how to move forward and how to manage their resources much better, how to create long-term goals that actually make sense. Like maybe there's like a new authority, or the authority in place like is actually really helpful to do that. And there will be some stress involved. There will be some stress involved and maybe moving away from something. But
I was just actually thinking, sorry to go back to it, but
yeah.
all of the Cancer in USA's 8th house, and Aries, Jupiter in Aries, and after Pisces, and having like a major inspiration. It sounds a little like crypto. I'm like, you know, like a lot of that, like redefining currency and taking it back into like self, going through, but like it would also have to, I am not like a crypto person. I know you're more into it. But the 8th house, it's about trading. It's about other people's money. It's not about leveraging, like, it's not about like our own, like, so the US doesn't care about our own money. That's why we're in debt to other countries. That's why there's deficits, everything. Money doesn't really matter. Currency doesn't really matter. So it makes me really think that this is about money and value, like in shifting it, and just kind of completely, it could just wipe all the problems away anyway. Because right before you started looking at the cards, in my head, I was like, you know how many people owe money right now after like COVID stuff? People owe so much money. There's so many like handouts. There's realistically like nobody's going to get paid. So what do you do? Like, what do you do when that happens? And people are making money in different ways. And there's a whole universe being built online. And Aquarius is the moon of the United States. Saturn's in Aquarius. Jupiter just went over it. Aquarius rules the internet. And that's in the 3rd house of our communication. Like, so what if the US just kind of goes completely virtual, and then maybe we will never have to go to the DMV again, because that's stupid. No one should ever have to go there. We'll never have to leave your house. We can all be incels. Okay, go back with the cards.
No, I was thinking of a lot of things while you're saying that. Well, okay, I don't want to like say, oh, the US is going to be fine financially or not fine, because it is more complicated than that. But what I will say is that they're going to put a lot of energy towards like getting the economy back running. They're going to be focusing, like there's going to be an actual real attempt to like rebuild the economy and get better people in power that can actually create a better long-term plan. Like the next 7 years is going to be a lot about rebuilding whatever financial situation there is. And I see that, yes, like with the 3 of Spades being related to the 10 of Diamonds, like, yes, that could mean like moving away from something, like also with the 5 of Hearts, like moving away from what was into something new. But regardless of like the outcome of that, it's going to be like, that's pretty much like the main thing for the next 7 years is like, how does the US like in material things rebuild and build build
Yeah.
back. We were laughing about that the other day. Okay. But yeah, basically
Yeah.
but it's and also like how does the US deal with change? So I feel like it's not a bad spread, honestly. It's not a bad spread, but there's like a lot of energy about like the US maybe not really being so connected to other countries as it was before, with like all those strong allies and things like that. Like it's almost going to feel maybe like the USA is like the odd one out. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because it's when Jupiter is in Aries and it's going into itself. It's in the 5th house of like like it's like party time. There's pleasure there. If we have Aries in the 5th and Jupiter wants to expand that, it's like we can have fun like that. Which if you bring that personally to like yourself or whatever, you're like, yeah, it would be nice to not be a hermit, right? To like enjoy companionship, but you also would like to be able to trust that companion. And so until you can trust the companion, you just got to be alone, and you can party like that. And I'm really being Cher from Clueless like right now. We can totally party with the Haitians, but like, that's kind of what it is. It's like, you cannot trust everybody. You can't have a million friends online. They will try to destroy you. So you might as well just disconnect. And with the progressions of like Saturn from Capricorn to Aquarius, like how it's going over the moon, and the moon is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is on the descendant. Like it's almost exact the US of A's, like US of A's. Did I say that? Descendant. And it's like a big blind spot. There's like a very emotional blind spot. There's a blind spot to the community, but eventually it has to become whole and it has to become balanced. And the only way I think it can become balanced is if it's all for us and not for them.
Well, what does suck is I think like the US is still going to be against people that want to do things a different way.
Mm-hmm.
The Pluto card is the 7 of clubs, and the 7 of clubs is the card of like, these old ideas don't work, let's get new ones. But the USA is against that. They're like, no, we want things to stay how they are. Like
even Uranus on the descendant. And fuck, sorry, fuck, I keep saying fuck, but like the moon is in Aquarius. So people are like, let's be weird. And Uranus is on the descendant, and it's like, no, we do things the old way. Like we still move paper the way that we did in 1776, because why change a good thing just because of technology? We still make you stand. I'm not going to bring up the DMV again, but it should be abolished.
Yeah, and I do think it in these next 7 years, it's like something's going to happen to like help out the US in some way, but it's going to be a struggle. Especially this year, we'll still be like, kind of like anything that's not with the narrative is going to be crushed, you know? And okay.
You said something about new media too, with was it Jupiter? What were you saying? Saturn and Aquarius, new media.
And with the 3rd house too.
Yeah, exactly. The 3rd house. That makes sense. And then with, this is the, I don't know, I didn't pay attention to that. The nodal square of the United States as well. So it's going to take a year before we hit the exact nodal square. But I love to explain this personally, but like when I hit my nodal square, did you hit your, yeah, we both would have hit our nodal square, right?
Yeah, because we had the same moon.
Yeah. It was such a big destiny changer. Like it was like, you were aligned this way, now you will be aligned this way. However, I'm in my nodal return now, and I am just now understanding what that meant. Right? Like I shifted my destiny. I shifted my focus. I knew that my focus was wrong. However, I didn't know where it was going until my nodal return. And this is like, they're actually in this is reverse. It's going to hit the south node. The north node will hit the south node in like 7 years. And I don't know. So I'm just like talking to my ass right now, but like, so it's a shift in destiny, but doesn't mean anything can happen. Basically, there's gonna be a hold on it, especially with the North Node and Leo. The US is like, I do it right, like every time. And it's in the 9th house, which is fucking cocky as shit. So it's like Leo in the 9th. I do everything right. And I know, it reminds me of Jennifer Lawrence when she did, she's like a Leo in the 9th house, and she looked at a reporter and was like, you would have known this if you weren't looking at your phone. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak English, this was a translator. And she's like, oh, change the subject. Like that's what the US does, like with stuff. It's like, you don't know anything about what we're doing. And we're like, well, actually I do, I have this information right here. And they're like, okay, so
yeah, they are like that. That's really what's happening now.
It is.
Okay, I feel kind of bad for all the people that aren't from the USA, because I feel like half my channel is half my channel.
This is going on my channel, so I think a lot of them aren't from. I'm sorry, guys, too.
Oh, should we? Okay, so the USA sucks. I'm just kidding. I love
it. Just has problems. It's got douchebag problems. Everybody knows it. It's like a fuck boy that thinks it's not a fuck boy.
I'm gonna go for jail. Go for
It's like
jail.
a fuck king. He thinks he's a fuck king. Wait, what are you gonna?
And then after this, Alyssa, and I have to tell you about all of my knights that have come to my castle to try.
Yeah. All your fuck nights. Sorry.
Okay,
Watch your mouth.
so this is just how I did it. I don't know. I just made the chart for January 1st. Oh wait, why is it 2020? Hang on. That's
Okay.
right. Because we're about to start. I'm gonna go to jail for that too. I just made the chart and then my computer crashed and didn't save correctly. So this is going to be the chart for this new year, basically. And I just made it as like,
oh, like sure. Okay.
but I made it for where I live. So we could do anywhere in the world, but I just wanted to kind of focus on, like the conjunctions and everything,
Yeah. Also, I realized we didn't talk about the Pluto return of.
Yeah, the Pluto return. Oh yeah, let's close this out.
Yeah, just real quick, because let's see, I can't really share my screen. I wasn't prepared for that. I don't know what I got on here in my.
Well, Pluto's like, obviously, as you all know, Pluto's super intense and has everything. It like is very much related to Scorpio, like the phoenix rising from the ashes and all of that. And it's has everything to do with power struggles and power and who has the power, who doesn't, who's powerful and who's powerless. And when was the last time that Pluto was like 200 and something year, or what is it?
It goes like 248 years. That might be wrong, but there's something like that. Pluto takes a long time. That's why, like, when people are first getting into astrology and they're like, oh, you have Pluto in Sagittarius, so do I, because they don't realize that it's going to take a long time for Pluto to go through this sign. So the last time that Pluto was exactly 27 degrees Capricorn was in 1776. And it was in July 4th, 1776. Because that's the 4th of July. That's when the fireworks happen. I know this stuff. Okay, so Pluto was 27 degrees and 33 minutes. And so that will hit Washington, D.C. on February 20th, 2022 at 12 p.m. It will be 27 degrees and 33 minutes, which is numerology wise a bunch of twos, because it's 2/20/2022. Is that it? Is that 2202022? Can you do that backwards? Is that a palindrome?
No,
it's not.
Wait,
is it? Wait, 2202022. It is, yeah. Which has its own power in general. So already 2022 is a 6 for the whole world. So we'll talk about that like a little bit later too, because you have
it is a palindrome.
It is a palindrome. And I was going to call it an ad lib because my kids have ad libs and they just discovered that. And so every word is but or other words. Anyway, so that's different. Ad libs are different than palindromes. So with all the two, so that's 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a 1. It is a new beginning, right? Like that date is a new beginning. It's crazy. It's not a coincidence that there's all those 2s there, but 2 is also the moon. The moon is the collective energy. This moon is in Aquarius, which is already it is a collective sign. And
1 + 1 is 2.
1 + 1 is 2, which is all of this is master number. Oh, sorry, just like thinking that Pluto will also be in the 8th house in Capricorn. So this tells me a lot about money. That's the big shift. So it's basically the Pluto return is pretty much what those cards of truth were already saying, right? There's a overhaul in money. And I don't know enough, because even though I'm an astrologer and I should know that like crypto will take over the world, I don't know enough about it to even say that that is it, the currency. But I do see there's kind of a dark energy, not I'm not going to put it on crypto. I haven't even looked at the charts for that or anything like that, but there's a dark energy to what this means for money. And people have had deep fears about money and how people can eventually, the government could take away your money or all of that if you go straight to digital currency. But there does seem to be like a dictator type thing within this chart. And maybe it's because the sun, Jupiter, and Neptune are in the 10th house in Pisces. And literally, okay, the sun will be 2 degrees, Jupiter is 11 degrees Pisces, and Neptune's 22 degrees Pisces. So it's 2, 11, 22, like all in Pisces, and it's all in the 10th house. And that's where everything's going to be as far as the authority goes. And Pisces is about deception. And having Neptune there at 22, that's the kill or be killed. It's basically like, it's kind of like 666 energy. Like, hey, just accept this deception. Oh my God, I have a mark on my hand. This is I don't know where I got it. It's like accept the deception and you'll be happy and we can join forces together with this Jupiter at 11, or don't and see what happens. It's like because also, by the way, like this Pluto return is going to happen 3 times. This is just the first time it's going to happen because it's going to hit, it's going to go retrograde, hit again, and then it's going to go direct again and hit. So each one will have its own energy, but I don't have all the charts up right now. All I know is that this one kind of looks a little bit like something. It's making, yeah, I don't know why it's making me smile. I'm like, if I was in charge of this would be super cool. This is why people think.
Wait, can you tell me the day again for that?
Yeah, it's February 20th, 2022.
Okay, let's look at what's going on in the USA's chart.
Okay.
The card, the truth, 220. Oh. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be.
220. Okay. Yeah, they're trying to like do everything on their own and not rely on anyone else during that time. Like they're really trying to control all the media. Like they're not even like with other countries, like whatever's coming in and out. This is just an aside, but whatever's coming in and out, it's like they want to like monopolize all of it and do it themselves. So 220, 2022 is a 5 of diamonds. That's a change of material resources.
Oh, ooh.
5 of diamonds, and the king of diamonds on the ecliptic is like the path that the USA is on is to be king.
They are a fuck king. They are just a fuck boy, and they're like, no, I'm going to be a fuck king. That's what they want to do. And that reminds me of Team America World Police. Sorry, but like, you know, the United States is a dick. It's just what it is. And like, that's what they're always going to try to go down. And with all this Pisces too, with the Pluto return, like, cause it's all in Pisces, kind of weirds me out because a king that deceives is not a king that you want. You want a protective king, but not a deceptive king. And it's really weird. Ugh. So sorry, I'm just like, and then the moon is going to be 20 degrees Libra. So there's so many just twos, like the 20 Libra as well is the balance, is waiting out the energy. And so that's the collective energy. I actually feel like during the Pluto return, we're going to be really nice about it. Yeah. You know, because 20 Libra is that's a very nice degree in a sign. It's like, oh yeah, thank you so much. So I kind of wonder if the US is going to throw a shit ton of money at people, or there's going to be this new thing. It's like, oh, everything that you wanted is now going to be here. All you people, you've been fighting for COVID stuff. Like some people are fighting against vaccines. Some people are fighting for them. Some people think they're going to kill it, whatever. Like there's so many different things. And like, what if there's all of a sudden some miracle that hits, and then, you know, every side's like, oh, thank you so much. But underneath it all, there's something much more sinister. That's what I'm getting.
Mars and Venus will be exactly conjunct, well, almost exactly conjunct the second cusp of the USA at that time too. So that's like,
They're 19
you know,
degrees. And when 19 is the most unstable degree, because it's
so
the
that,
1 and the 9, the sun
and
and the
it,
Mars.
well, I'm trying to figure out what's actually squaring. Okay, so that will be squaring. Is that a square?
It's squaring the moon in the Pluto return chart, but if 19 degrees, who?
It's making a negative aspect to something in here, Juno. To Juno.
Yes, it is almost exact Juno, and it is a square to Saturn on a loose cusp, and Chiron in Aries. Juno is the wife. Oh my God. So like Juno, I see that is gonna be like the moon is conjunct Juno. The Pluto returns moon is conjunct Juno. It's like the collective marrying. It's like, oh, I am the wife. I am here for you. I am submissive. It looks submissive. And also Juno is a cuckold. She watches her husband, other women, and she gets mad at the women and their children.
Yeah, no, this is kind of, and I feel like this just also just has to do with this, because Uranus is making in the sky, they're making an angle to, I'm drunk now. His interaction with Uranus and Venus and Mars. So it's like, I don't know, Uranus is there in the 6th house. I just feel like they're always using this disease, this virus as an excuse. It's like an excuse for everything, and it's not going to stop. It's like, oh, we have to do this. We have to change this. We have to do this because of that, like, but yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder if travel and stuff is going to be impacted, because now the sun is almost exactly conjunct the 3rd cusp. I wonder if this has I think that does have more to do with finances. I wonder if they're going to do like a travel restriction, a greater one.
Yeah, there's something actually I just noticed too. I didn't realize the United States Uranus return is the same day as the Pluto return. I mean, it's not exact, but Uranus will be conjunct Uranus during the Pluto return.
Oh, I'm not having that in my USA chart.
Oh no, fuck. You know what? No, wait, am I? Never mind. I'm like full of shit.
I'm glad I caught it. Otherwise, we would both be.
I know, everyone would be like, wow, Alyssa did this thing. I some reason put the transits up on the Pluto return. And I'm like, wait.
You know what actually would happen, Alyssa, is that like 50 different young astrologers would start doing special YouTube episodes about Uranus.
I know. Oh, I'd be like, oh shit. I'm sorry, guys. And then people will get mad at me and make me have to apologize.
Oh, everyone's just gonna have this misinformation, then you're gonna know that they stole your content.
Yes, oh, that's true. I should just tell people that. Yeah, so okay. Way to go, Alyssa. Yeah, Uranus is 8 degrees Gemini. I know what I'm talking about. I'm like a really good astrologer.
Okay, so let's stop talking about the US. Yeah. And we don't have to, there's like no chart we can really make for 2022. Well, yeah, for the world or whatever. But we can talk about the fact that like it depends on where you're at in the world, right? Like where everything is going to be when midnight happens. But we do know that K2, or the south node of the moon, is going to be with Mars. So there is like one thing that's for sure going to be happening. And that's like the energy of like a lot of repressed rage and frustration and repressed, like if you have K2 and Mars together, a lot of the times you'll have like, I don't know, violent dreams, so like that could be like a common thing amongst people. I've been having recurring violent dreams where I'm being hunted by people.
Really?
Yeah, for like the last year, where like people are trying to hunt me and kill me.
Yeah, and I was one of those people.
Oh yeah, and I had a dream that Alyssa was like, it was all of us astrologers, and Alyssa was the Grim Reaper basically, and we were all gonna die except for Alyssa.
But I was really calm about it, so that's good. This is
it's gonna be fine, guys. And I was like, oh, this is real.
Well, if you die, you'll just be born again, so deal with it, okay? Like, don't fear death. I just wonder, being hunted though, it's very Squid Game-esque. And in 2016, I don't know if you remember this, but a lot of people were really worried about being hunted. And that was something that was used against Hillary Clinton in the Twitter sphere, that there are people being hunted, because there was like the Epstein stuff came out, and then there's also like that rich people will hunt these kids. And you got it. I'm not gonna go like too much into it. You can go down a rabbit hole. I have a friend who actually is a part of that rabbit hole, which I find really fascinating, that people have put a lot of like strings together to accuse this person of being in a certain gate. And it's like not true. So I do know like you can't go down too many things, but it was like a very big thing in 2016 that people were like being hunted. So I think that's kind of interesting a lot, that you've been having dreams about being hunted. And then watching Squid Game. Did you see Squid Game? Oh, never mind. That's more than it. But just imagine, you should watch it. You should watch it.
Yeah, I will watch it.
It's not necessarily being hunted though, but like you just have to watch it. It just kind of reminds me of that energy. And I didn't put my New Year's Eve thing in here, so I want to do that. January 1st, 1/1/2022. I mean, even that is like a beautiful number. 1/1/2022. Sounds so pretty.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for 2022. Like, I know that it's not going to be the easiest year because it's still like a lot of adjustments, but I think it's very powerful, especially in terms of material things, because even 2 + 2 + 2 is 6. That's like Venus. Yeah. So, but everybody remember that Venus in Vedic astrology is a Maraka planet, which means it's a death inflicting planet. So you have to remember that anything that you consume must first die, that you have to, like, there has to be a recognition of death
and being hunted.
Yeah. And also, like, I think that people literally need to realize, like, I posted this on my Instagram and I probably got shadow banned, but it was like, okay, everybody, like, we're not here to live forever. We're here to live and then die. So why are we focusing on avoiding death when we should be focusing on like living as well as we can?
Well,
like,
yeah. Have you like watched braveheart lately? Like every man dies.
Yeah.
Not every man really lives.
Oh my gosh, see, that should be like the mantra for this video. But I really think that that's like for 2022 is like, quit trying to defeat death. Venus is the one that represents that we are all mortals. And so how can we, that's why like Venus is all the pleasures of life. So like, that doesn't mean, I don't think that Taurus and Venus is going to make us all like hyper consumers by any means. I really don't think that, because Jupiter is in Pisces. So I think we're all going to be more aware of like how everything works together and how we can, like, we're going to see the bigger picture of things.
Yeah.
But there is like a sensuality to Taurus being activated by the North Node, and that like we need to enjoy life. We need to hug our neighbors. We need to go over there and eat their food and kiss their cheeks and have sex with people without wearing a mask.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
No, but really, like, think about like the CDC or whatever recommendations. Like,
can you imagine? Sorry, I know that there might be people who like follow that or something. But
no, don't. It's wait, I don't know.
I was like, can you imagine? I just like the picture, the image is really funny. It doesn't even make logical sense. It reminds me of when I heard, and I don't know if this is true, so I apologize, but they can't watch it anyway because they don't have computers. But I heard that what are those Amish people?
Yes.
Like fuck through a hole in a so
Hasidic Jews or Mormons.
Okay, well, I've just heard that before. So like, I'm like, it's just so funny because it's like, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just getting thinking about it. It's almost like a kink. That's gonna be like a kink. Like, I don't want to fucking see you or sweat on you at all or like touch you at all. I just like need this one thing, which really just destroys feminine energy because a guy can get off, a girl can't.
Yeah, that's true. Also, by the way, shout out to the guy on my Nicole's Prairie Home Instagram that keeps messaging me about how hot I look with the mask on.
Oh my God.
And continuously asks me for pictures of me wearing a mask of any kind.
Oh, wow. Shout out. Let's see. And my
He messaged me today and he's like, do you have any more photos of you wearing a mask? Like, why?
you should make them pay for that shit. But this is my new mask, and everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. But
Oh yeah, your next
yeah,
stop.
my ski mask.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
then I
that's
can walk in and I can feel like I'm robbing a place.
yeah. My favorite guy at the grocery store only wears that kind of a mask.
Yeah, I mean it's like way more comfortable.
Oh, so you
I wear
guys,
it right now.
I think there's a lot of repressed anger and frustration and violence in a way.
Yeah.
Like even moon might also be with K2, which is like a lot of like suppressed fear, a lot of, or not suppressed fear, suppressed emotions. Like I think people are really holding back how they feel. I think that's going to continue through 2022, where there's like a lot of repressed
Mm.
positive emotions, just emotions in general, but also like the more negative ones. People are still going to be afraid to like really share that, especially when it comes to what they believe in, because 2022 starts out with the South Node still in Sagittarius. So we're still going to be afraid to really speak up about what we believe in and how we feel and what we're passionate about. And we're going to get our asses kicked if we do speak out.
Yeah, and that's gonna be like a slow movement into the Scorpio. Like, and also like it's gonna make you feel like death. And yeah, so you're first afraid, and then we're gonna move into the Scorpio South Node, and then it's gonna feel like death and ostracization, like, and sadness. And then it's gonna start to like be bigger. And something else is interesting is that Venus is retrograde in Capricorn. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and that is about like restrictions of Venusian activities. So like it's immediate, like all year, even though Rahu in the North Node is the North Node, is wanting to devour this Taurus energy, it's going to be kind of tempered, I guess. There's going to be like a thing, like anyone who kind of just goes forward, be like, oh, there's going to be a problem. You are going to reach like a form of karmic issue if you do this. Or that's what people are going to feel. But like, I just think that if we're doing a prediction, we should just tell everybody just to like go for it.
Yeah, well, I think, well, one thing I've been talking about for a long time, I don't know how many of you follow my work, but you should be.
You should be
Just
like a
ask.
genius.
I've been talking about this forever, how like Rahu and Taurus is really just reminding us like the body is the spiritual vessel. And I think that's just going to become like more apparent than ever, that like our body in and of itself is the spiritual thing. So even with like Venus being somewhat hindered perhaps, and like that's just like beginning of the year influence, it's going to be, I think it's like that time to go within. And I think it's also going to be an evolution where like we kind of realize how important the body actually is, how it is a spiritual thing. We don't want to mess around with it. It's, you have to be careful what you put into it, and it really does make a difference whatever you do. Like I don't meditate as well if I drink coffee. I don't get into as deep of states of meditation if I eat sugar. Like imagine like actual chemicals, or like I took a leave for painkillers because I had to get stitches in my fingers, and like I feel like I'm still messed up from that, like
From a
because I'm
leaf?
sensitive.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, sorry, I didn't mean to like laugh at you, but that makes sense because okay, so a lot of the times people get headaches like right here, right? And then you immediately want to take Advil or something. But this is not a headache. It is your third eye trying to communicate with you. So all you're doing is shutting that off. And then once you've been shutting it off for a while, that when you go off of it, this is going to become even stronger because there's more trying to get through. And so you need it to come out. And actually, that was something that I was thinking about like like 2022 is like it's better out than in. Like you need to like let things flow through you, because if you do not, they will hurt really bad. It's kind of like the release too of like the Scorpio Taurus energy, and Venus is conjunct Pluto as well, and Pluto rules the South Node, and Pluto rules the South Node, and Venus rules the North Node. So with that, like you think about those two things, and immediately we are starting with like the dragon tail and the dragon mouth, or the snake tail, snake mouth, are combined. They're already eating each other.
Yeah. Just to be clear, for the Vedic astrology people, Mars would rule over Scorpio. So I know it's like a little different, but
yeah, no, it's okay. We can do both too. I sometimes look at Mars for stuff. But Mars is with the moon, and that's very feminine. And then we have Pluto is with Venus. So these two like destructive planets, these chaotic, powerful planets, are kind of trying to like eat on these feminine energies.
yes. And also, like, have you ever had Pluto Venus stuff with people that you've dated or anything?
I'm trying to, yeah, well,
Like, I actually kind of, when I'm dating people, like I kind of look and see if we have it, because I don't feel like it's worth dating people unless we do have it, because it's so intense and exciting and probably really bad for me. But it feels great.
oh, my face has turned a little red. That's so funny.
It's like you're addicted to them, you know. It's like you just can't get enough of them. It's kind of like if you date somebody you don't have it, at least for me, because I have Moon and Pluto opposition. If I don't date somebody with that, then I'm like,
well, because they're not pulling your balance, which makes sense. It's kind of like I have Saturn opposite Moon, and so I want somebody with like Saturn like really aggressively on me. And if I don't have that, then it feels really boring.
yeah.
And that's the thing too, is like Saturn is very authoritative. So it's kind of why I just always like older guys.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I wanted to go back to that, to talking about a little bit about Taurus and Scorpio for like the world predictions in general too, for people. And like you were saying,
they don't care about like our sex life.
not our sex life together.
Yeah, no, not no, me, Nicole. I haven't done that yet. I mean, wait, just kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. She's not gonna invite me back now.
One time I had a best friend. I think I told her like, "Oh yeah, I kissed a girl once" or something. She was like, "Why didn't you ever kiss me?" She was so sad and hurt. I was like,
"Oh my God, I have to." No, I'm not gonna. I'm drinking too much champagne to like not talk about it. Like, because you don't have to make out with your friends. That's not a thing.
It was like a $10 dare at a party when I was 16 or something. Like, and I'm not trying to kiss everybody. Okay. Anyways, bring it back. So Alyssa was talking about like letting go and everything. So Scorpio actually rules the covered parts. That's what they say in Vedic astrology. Scorpio rules the covered parts. What are the covered parts of our body? Well, we were just talking about that. It's the genitals, the anus or whatever. So it's like, it is like that. There's a lot of shame also that comes from Scorpio, because it's like going to the bathroom, releasing things, like letting go of things. Like Libra is the actual mechanism where like the body goes through and it says like, this is healthy, this is waste, this is healthy, this is waste, and like chooses and decides. But Scorpio is the point where like anything is released. Guess what else is also released? Semen to create a child, like all the sexual stuff. It's really, really interesting and really, really potent, like Scorpio, because it's like all the nasty stuff, but all the beautiful and life-giving stuff, all the things that give us like immense amounts of pleasure. And it's also this like portal, right? Like it's this portal of the spiritual world to the earth. So like our genitals are this portal, and it's a very, very spiritual and amazing place. And this is the binary that it shares with Taurus. So when you think about what we're entering into, there needs to be a lot of sensitivity that we all have these next 18 months to really use this energy wisely, because all of us have the potential to create, like, okay, think about having sex. You create with some other power outside of yourself, you create a child, a living human being.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. It's like, okay, so a lot of times people think, because I was thinking this like 10 minutes ago and you just said it, so sorry if I'm interrupting you, but okay, it's not about, okay, say that you like really, really like love somebody like deeply, right? But you're married to somebody who abuses you, right? If you go leave this man without getting a actual divorce on a government level for this person that you really, really love, is that karmically bad? it would probably actually be worse karmically to stay with this person, because karma doesn't care about the law of the land as much as it cares about, you doing something correct. So it's like, if you are reversing bad karma during this time, so like imagine like you are exchanging fluids with somebody that you don't give a fuck about, and then you create a child. You do now have to give up half of yourself to this other person who isn't correct for you. So then it's like, but if you really like loved somebody, then it wouldn't matter what you did with them. And like all of it's almost like when you look at it from a government level and they're like, oh, without masks or whatever, that is like, that's all, this is just a bunch of restriction for these things that you shouldn't do anyway, right? Like, don't, make sure you protect yourself, make sure you just do it through a sheet, like whatever, and it's like, but who is that protecting realistically, but like you from somebody that you should have already had boundaries up and walls up to begin with?
Because you wouldn't use the excuse of that protection if you really loved them and wanted to be with them.
Yeah. If you could just be with them. And then otherwise you like
point.
You succumb to that bad energy and you take it in. And both people do. You give up a certain power to the other person. And the Taurus North Node is like, don't. Don't.
Quit giving your power away. No bullshit. Bull.
Yeah. And as much as it's like, oh, but I just really like this or whatever, it's like, yeah, that's fine. Everybody likes it mostly. But what if like there was something more? Would you be willing to hold out like just a little bit if there was something more, something that was better, something that like completed you, that or like filled a void, or that quenched your thirst instead of made you look for more, like the water of life, right? Like you can keep drinking water sometimes and never get your thirst quenched, or you can find something that is like perfectly made to quench your thirst.
Exactly.
But people have given up on that already. And I think that this is kind of trying to turn that around.
Yes. And that's kind of what I was saying. Like everyone needs to be really careful because the sexual creative energy that's kind of being reawakened right now for everyone, like maybe it feels like we're all coming out of a coma or something and we have all this energy. Like we literally have the power to create anything that we want to. It's just like, who's going to take it and who's going to leave it? Who's going to actually go and use that energy? Like, it's basically like we're all there, like say we're all like splitting off into our masculine and feminine selves and we could make love to that. Those two can make love and create a baby. Like who's willing to allow that to happen, to create this baby of whatever it is that you want? It's like the opportunity in the moment. And I think we're going to feel more connected than ever to other realms, to the spiritual realm. Like, especially this next year, it's going to be very mystical. Like, I think there's just going to be it's going to maybe feel a little like Neptunian in the sense where it's like, we're not feeling really grounded. We're like floating off into space in a way. Like maybe we will float off into space.
Yeah, there's a song that comes on my shuffle a lot called Levitating by Dua Lipa. I know it's like a pop song, but
sing it.
I don't even remember how it goes now, but I was just thinking levitating because that's what I keep getting. I'm like, that's what unconditional love is, right? Like, what if you meet somebody or something, or you experience something that just is like, this doesn't die.
It's
It's
transcendent.
It's transcendent. It's not just like, oh, I'm really worried, because people are so worried about divorces. Like, oh, divorce is the end of love. No, that you never should have been with that person, because you would have been able to see it if you weren't in a coma. You would have been able to notice that this person didn't love you enough to make it work for 1,000 lifetimes. I mean, that sounds really, really, I want to rephrase it. It doesn't sound so crazy. Like you can like look at someone and be like, this person takes care of me. They love me. They want what's best for me. They don't argue with me over dumb things. There's a lot of these things that they don't do. Like, they're perfect, so I'm going to marry them. And then, yeah, you will be together for a long time. But the thing is that we fool ourselves and we get shit. We get these red flags, which they call them. But more so, they're just like, oh, I can work around this. We just had one little argument about socks. Like, we just had one major disagreement about this thing. We'll figure it out. We should just get married. And that's stupid. It's codependent. And it's because people don't want to be alone. And that's what we had for so long, is like this feeling of like not wanting to be alone. But it's like being alone is not that bad. That's what I'm saying. Like partying alone, it's better to party alone. It's much better to be lonely by yourself than it is to be lonely with somebody who's supposed to make you feel not alone.
Yes, but Taurus is the number 2. Okay. It's the second sign. And so it's going to give opportunity to understand what partnership actually is, whether in a relationship or within yourself, because we all do have like the masculine and feminine. And you don't even have to think about it in terms of that. You can think about it in terms of like we have like totally opposite, like 2 totally opposite sides that are contradictory. How can you find the communion between those 2 opposing forces, whether you call it the Ida and the Pingala of Kundalini, the good and evil, the masculine and feminine? Like, how can you find the balance between those 2 forces? And I really do feel like it's not going to be an easy time, 2022, but it will be a creative time. It will be kind of an otherworldly time. Secrets will be revealed. Things will come to the surface. More talk about outer space, more talk about aliens, more talk about getting people to space, a lot about the metaverse, a lot about intangible spaces where people can explore without a body. So that's going to be more virtual reality, more stuff like that. AI is going to also be very prominent, but how much can be accomplished in 18 months? And like, I don't know, like if there's any new and exciting stuff that will come in the next, I say 18 months, but I should say 12 months, and how much new stuff can come about. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know, like, do you have any specific predictions of like events you think are going to happen, or anything crazy you see? I mean, I think the financial thing is like a big one, but Uranus has been creating those changes for a while, being in Taurus, and it's going to continue. Like, I don't think the full finalization of the financial system will happen until Uranus is through.
Yeah. This is just the beginning. Yeah. This is like, it is actually an interesting thing, because I do think fear rises. However, it's kind of like, I think, reached a release point, because we were talking about like the release and stuff for a lot of people. Like, when you just go so far, you really can't be scared anymore of anything, because you're like, people who have had near-death experiences or who have died are no longer afraid of dying, because they see how beautiful it is. So they go back and they live life to the fullest, right? And the thing is with fear that people don't fully understand is that fear does create codependency, because love is like, if you love something, let it go, it will come back always. But if you fear something, you'll hold it as close to you as possible and you'll smother it and you'll kill it. And
true,
when you are really like glued in to say like Twitter or like social media or the news or whatever, or if you are left and right side politics, like if you are really just so adamant that this is like the right way, even if it veers, like I kind of talk about this, I'm veering off right now, but in Saturn and Aquarius energy, it is like, you love cats, and so you join an I love cat group, and then they're like, we love cats here, but we also kill all dogs, and if you want to stay here, you have to kill dogs with us. And you're like, well, I don't want to kill dogs, I just love cats. And they're like, if you want to be with us, you have to kill dogs. And you're like, okay, I'll kill dogs, or you won't. And that energy is kind of like facing your fear too, because it's facing that codependent rejection. Like, I want to be a part of this community, I want to be a part of this group, I really want to love cats to somebody, but they want me to kill dogs. And so will my codependency and my fear of rejection and my fear of all of this stuff, will it make me kill dogs, or will I walk away and just be alone? Like, and in that sense, it's a choice. It's like a red pill, blue pill. And the New Matrix, I liked it when they philosophize. Oh my God, I can say words. Philosophize the red pill, blue pill energy. And spoilers, but it's in the beginning. So they were like, it was never a choice. You already knew before they handed you the pill, you already knew what you were going to do. So if I'm saying to you, what would you do? Would you kill the dogs, or would you walk away and be alone? You already know what you will do. You already know what you have to do. You already know the road that you have to go down. It's just about making that decision and putting the pill in your mouth and going that route. And so there will definitely be people who this year who are very, very fearful. And when people are fearful, they attack and they kill and they hurt and they destroy, and they don't like you for the little things that you do. And they will get mad at you if you eat your food wrong, or if you argue with them for like a split second. If you tell them your feelings, they will attack you. That's what fear does. And I think that we're trying to get out of it. And so the people who are out of it will be attacked. They will be afraid. They will feel like they're doing something wrong. Oh, hi, Kitty. She's so big. But I mean, I guess I always like view everything from a very emotional, psychological standpoint. So that's like where I'm going here. But that's what it looks like to me when I'm like looking at all of this energy, that you can release all this stuff that no longer serves you. But that is a scary situation, and not everybody's up to it. And that's okay. But if you're not up to it and releasing all of that, then it's like, I can't be around you anymore, because I can't let you hang on me. I can't hold on to you.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because I did a Patreon reading for my patrons, like a pick a card reading, and one of the piles was exactly all about that. How it's like, okay, are you really going to hang on to this that's really, really bad for you just because you think you need it? Or are you going to actually just let it go and know that you are going to be fine? And it's like the fear of what is out there, if you let go of that thing, is stronger than the badness of being with the bad thing. It's like, you're so afraid of this, like about nothing. Like the fear is fake, like
it is, because the fear is just at the heart of love. It's like you want something really badly, and the things that we want the most scare us the most, and then we don't go after them, so the fear just sits inside.
Exactly. Also, everyone look at my cute kitty.
So cute. Where's your other kitty?
She's you can like see through my shirt. She's she's also sleeping. It's like a really weird hole.
That's all right. There's not like lots. You're not like coming out like in a boobalicious way.
Okay, should we try to see? Why don't we pull some cards to see any like events? And I want to look back at this 2020.
Let's get all like divination-y.
Yeah, I want to look back in 2023 and be like, oh my gosh, we predicted that earthquake. Ay, Dios mío. Okay, so I'm using this Oracle card deck because I just feel like it matches the background.
I like it. I just brought my I always just use these because they are the fountain tarot.
The fountain.
And I brought it with you, and this is when you yelled at me for ruining my deck of cards, because they are, because I shuffle them like this, and you're like, Alyssa.
They match my eyeshadow.
They do. They're iridescent. That's the word I was looking for. That's beautiful.
Okay, I'm going to pick 3 events or 3 prominent things for 2022, good or bad. I don't care. And should you pick 3 additional events, or should we both pick for the same event? So like, I'll get 1 card and you'll get 1 card for the same event.
Let's do that, because then we'll see like if we can.
The same.
Yeah, that'd be cute. Okay. So this is the first event. Okay. Should we like do them like in should we hold ourselves to chronological order?
Yeah. So I'll draw. Okay. 2 came out for the first one, but that's
okay. Hold on.
Just happened. And I'll draw my second and third, but I'll set them aside.
Okay.
Good. Now I need some more champagne.
2 came up. This is so funny. 4 like popped out for the first one, and they're falling on the ground, so I have to take them if they fall on the ground. That was a lot. Okay.
And and they will be chronological, like the first, second, and third, right?
Okay, yeah. We'll see what happens there. Okay. Now. Do you want to pull
okay.
We'll look at them for a second first?
No. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so reversed 7 of Cups, Queen of Wands, Strength, and the reverse I can't read the 9 of Wands. And the only journeys of priestess and gifts from the past. These connect. They really do.
I want to see yours again. Sorry. I wasn't paying enough attention.
I'm trying to, I don't want it to be too bright.
The 9 of Wands.
The reverse 9 of Wands. Yeah, 7 of Cups. And then we have the Queen of Wands and Strength.
Okay. So that kind of, the Queen of Wands reminds me of this one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. And even Strength, like just actually putting them together is very much the lonely journey of the priestess. And then we gifts from the past, a lot of reverse, but
oh yeah, because it's from the past.
It's from the past. Yeah.
The gifts are the 9 of Wands and the
7 of Cups. And here, this is like anything happening. And so
what is this actually as a event that will happen? Pressure is on because
but why does it seem so emotional? Why does it seem like a romantic love interest comes back into your present after you've been alone for so long?
Well, no, this is a world event, Alyssa.
Okay, sorry. What if that is a world event? Okay, so if now I like read it right.
What were the gifts in the past? The 7 of Cups and the
9 of Wands.
The 7 of Cups, 9 of Wands. Okay, I have an idea, and you can tell me if this feels right for you, but I feel like there's going to be some kind of I'm scared to say this out loud. Let me just think for 1 second here. I think there's going to be some kind of a takeover, some kind of a destruction of an ancient temple where they steal the stuff inside because they feel like they're justified to do it. Something's going to happen where like some really holy, amazing, beautiful trinkets and things from the past are going to be stolen. And I think it's not in the US, it's like somewhere else. And I think that it's going to be arson because look at her head. It's like a flame that they light on fire, and it's going to be very, very hard to figure out who did it or what it is. And it's going to feel like it's fake, but it's not fake. Like somebody actually is doing it. It's not like a false flag.
Okay. What if if the Queen of England dies? Because gifts of the past and looking at this Strength and it's Queen of Wands. And what if something goes missing and something in a palace, maybe?
Yeah, it seems like there's something that's going to be taken from a palace, or not palace, but like some kind of a whole special place. And the gifts,
like the Vatican.
And yeah, and it seems like with the 9 of Wands, because the 9 of Wands reminds me of like hermits. So like something religious.
And there is a pyramid here. The only thing is like something like the pyramid, and to me, it's reminding me more, and maybe it's like I'm mixing it with these cups and like this 7 being disillusionment, like in deception, that this is more like the eye of like, it's on the dollar bill, more Mason stuff, Mason secrets, as opposed to Egyptian like temple stuff.
But the world will know about it. It's gonna be like, oh my gosh, all this like amazing stuff got stolen and we don't know who did it. And there's gonna be some kind of a fire or arson or something that is involved with it, where like
and this the lion's on fire too in this like, as well.
Something will start on fire and they won't know that the stuff is stolen until much later because they think it's just a fire, but the fire is fake. If the fire is to cover up that the stuff is stolen.
This is so what's that movie though that I'm thinking?
That's Raven?
No, Nicolas Cage movie. Sorry, I'm just thinking of like okay.
Okay, this is the first time I've ever tried to do like a world prediction. So I'm like, okay, if I get this wrong, my career's over. But
no, we're doing it with tarot cards. So this is like, oh, those dumb bitches, they think tarot can do this. Okay, so but actually, honestly though, okay, the Queen of Wands is kind of spirit queen. I mean, she is because she's fire, and Strength, this is fire. It looks like she's really, really happy about something happening. So it looks like something being uncovered. And possibly the fire isn't a real fire, but is a burning like desire to get to some form of information that is then released and taken out to the point where those who have been confused by something for a long time will suddenly be given the answers for clarity. Which I had 2 things, like my 2 things were the Queen of England dies and the Vatican, but then it was like Mason stuff, but like because what you were saying, but then I was thinking, because I'm thinking more church energy, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And
but look there's a pyramid in this too.
Ooh, double pyramid
So
energy.
it's something real mystical that like there's something that's stolen that's honestly it might be kind of hush hush, like no one actually knows what was stolen. There's just a fire, but it's because something important was stolen, and the stuff that was important has to do with um like things gained from things that represent the spiritual path of like really highly spiritual people, and also things that were recovered. Like the Seven of Cups is like things that were recovered that were already stolen or were already damaged or were already taken, and they had recovered them. That's like the Seven of Cups is like, you know, like there's a
Yes.
sadness or a pain associated with that already. Like the people that had it never got to enjoy it.
Yes, especially because you're bringing them up from the past as well, and how they're being like kicked out of this.
Like the white people took them because it's a white woman. So it's like the white people took them, and maybe
Yeah.
it's Native American stuff because it's teepees.
Oh, maybe. And she's obviously very, very like distraught and like super white. Sorry, white people, but that's what you look like.
So this is
sorry, I'm white.
this could be the earlier one because we did this one first. Okay, should we go? Let's go move on to the second one.
Okay, yeah, move on. Yeah, okay. So whatever happens with that, people have to deal with it. Okay, second. Ready?
1, 2, 3. Oh, this is really strange. The one, oh,
no one is yours but you, and I have reverse justice and the Empress. No, wait, no, I have justice in direct and reverse Empress. Sorry.
Okay, do you want to hear what I have to say? I don't like this at all, but I'm just going to tell you.
Okay, tell me.
Fertility is going to be fucked up.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like, this is a penis and the Empress is reversed. Like there's going to be major problems with people's fertility and stuff like that. And a lot of it could do with stress or the fact that our pheromones aren't working as normal as they used to be because of quarantining. I don't know, but I just feel like this is
no one is. Yeah. But okay, justice though is like trying to restore something to its normal place. So quite possibly, I'm not going to go down this random road that I would go down, but quite possibly, there is a be fruitful and multiply issue with our world that doesn't need to be there anymore because we found a new legacy. The third eye is activated up in that picture. So like you got 3 eyes and the heart, and it's holding the heart, and it's like this is actually something I was going to say earlier, so now I'm going to bring it up, but I kept forgetting because my brain wanted to wait till this point, I guess. You want to create a child with somebody, that's fertility, but sometimes a child is not a child. It's not a human person, because when I was pregnant twice, okay, I was not very creative, and I don't know if everybody else feels that way, but there's a part of all of your energy and all of your creative energy built that leaves your entire body and builds a new life, right? And that new life takes out all of your creative power for months after, because they are this piece of your 5th house, which is your creative power. Now you can create the same type, like you can be a fertile human being. You can be very breedable and submissive and not breed children. You breed something else. If you're getting love and you're getting fed and you're getting seated, you can create something that might change the world instead. Right. And so part of me is like, what if it is a problem for a lot of people and that creates a lot of fear? However, why are they so focused on creating human children and not creating something that would change the world? What are they afraid of within themselves that is making them think that they need a baby and not like a magical potion? You know, like what if it's magic?
Right. So there's some kind of a balance being restored, which is interesting because the eclipses are happening in Bharani Nakshatra, which is like ruled over by Yama, the god that like makes sure that enough souls have left the earth so that it's healthy. Like he's like, okay, you guys, not all the souls can be here. There are only a certain number of souls that can be on the earth at one time. And I'm going to take all the ones that can't. That's what Alyssa was representing in my dream. She was like, oh, all right, you astrologer, was like, you're all going to die because there's enough of you. And I'm not going to die because I'm the one killing you, but we need to make sure that there's a balance here. Maybe I just had that premonition because we're having this conversation.
Maybe, but you know, like how many times I've like randomly said like, hey guys, if you don't want to have kids, you don't have to, like in readings and like in my podcast and stuff. I'm like, you don't need children to be satisfied. And that's something that people don't fully understand, but I don't think that we are actually taught how that could work, because there's nothing that has ever been as fulfilling as having a human child. But what if there was? And I think you need to have like the hope and the faith that there could be. Obviously, that's gonna fall on like deaf ears. I already have kids. So it's like, oh, you can say that, Alyssa, you know, like, what if you didn't have those children? Like, it's like, oh yeah, you don't know. I would love to find that though. Now that I've had children, is there something that is equally fulfilling? I think that there is. And I'm not saying that there's something less fulfilling, but I think it's like, that's what happens though. When you believe that having children is the end all be all, that's why children are fucked up, because you don't take care of them. You put all of your wants, hopes, and dreams and wishes inside of them and get angry at them when they don't live up to their full potential. And then they are hurt and distraught. And then they try to grow up and become adults, and they do the same thing to their children. And there might be a point that we just have to stop. But is that a world prediction, or that's just my candid energy?
Okay, let's go to our final world prediction before we end this video and go to our personal predictions for each sign.
Yes, on your channel. Each sign.
Okay, so
I haven't finished a full bottle at all. I'm not even halfway done, guys. So I just
I'll get my other mini bottle for the next thing.
Okay.
So
ready?
2, 3. A volcano. I
got a volcano, and I got the Page of Swords, and this, I can't read it backwards. 7 of Swords reversed. Oh, a message. Okay, that looks like a very volcano. That's a destructive. That's an earth thing, right? That's something that you want to predict.
I bet there's going to be an earthquake, then a volcano, because the 7 of Swords looks like they're like breaking and stuff. I don't know though. Hang on, I need to.
You want to analyze here?
Because it's like
the 7 of Swords, because it is reversed, it does look like the hand of God coming down, pulling some swords up and leaving some pain behind. And this being a messenger, like an angel, because the page is a messenger of something it wants to say, but doing something, but not enough. Like, it's almost like Yellowstone wants to erupt, but what is that? It's the volcano in Yellowstone, right? It wants to erupt or whatever, and then it does a little bit. Right? It's like a little bit, like a little warning of some sort that is sent by some energy that is saying like, I have a message for you and you're fucking something up.
Yeah, it seems like some man-made thing is trying to do something, like drill somewhere or do something somewhere, and it causes a volcanic eruption on accident. And it does destroy a lot of stuff, but it's able to be contained. Like, that's what I feel like with the hand coming down and like picking up swords. Like, the destruction that they were trying to do is very small, and it caused more destruction, which is why there's multiple swords, but like they're able to clean up most of it, but not all of it. So the destruction is more than anticipated, but less than we would think. But I think it is like a volcano. I mean, I think it's some kind of a volcanic.
It looks very direct, like it's trying to give us a direct thing to give. It looks like a volcano to me.
It's trying to give us a direct thing so that we can advance our careers as predictive astrology.
Because it's like the fertility thing. Well, okay. If we go, realistically, if we go back to something, something is stolen, something fucks with fertility this year. Something important, some important knowledge is stolen. Well, you can just say that. And there is going to be a catastrophic event that is not catastrophic. That's what I would say that we saw.
I'm going to just be specific, and I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to put all my chips in, and I'm just going to say there's a.
I like that though.
I don't care if my career goes down in flames.
It won't though. You can always, I predicted that Trump would win. I'm still here, guys.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. And the volcano, honestly, I was excited when I saw this card because I feel, what's great about volcanoes is that they create new earth. So I guess if we want to use a metaphorical thing, is like a new earth is going to be created, and it's going to be after
Yeah.
a lot of pressure and some good ideas.
Good, because I wanted to go metaphorical so bad. And I was like, shut up, Alyssa, stop it. Everyone's going to think you're obsessed with this. This looks like a hand of God holding these swords and saying, I'm going to kill a part of you, but not all of you. And I'm going to send these down. And what are they? He's sending down these angels. It's like starting a war to create a new earth and to deliver us with, yeah. And also that looks like a eruption. Because you like to go to the phallic symbols when you look at those cards. So I'm going to too. That looks like a literal like
orgasm. Scorpio, 8th house.
Yeah, it does.
Everyone's going to want to learn orgasmic meditation from me.
Yes, you should just sell that class. Wait, are you going to be naked in it?
No. Whenever I start teaching people all of my meditation techniques, I get stalkers. So it's very tricky for me, but
yeah, no, I can imagine. I just post myself and I get people thinking that we're dating.
Yeah. I guess the less I post, the less I get emails like that. Okay. So anyways, I do think, okay, let's just go back. Let's rewind. Okay. So we're using metaphors and we're using actual events, but haven't you all noticed that like the metaphorical thing always is existing alongside the world event? Like, so it's probably both.
Which is exactly what we started this entire thing with. So that goes full circle to the fact that you mentioned that the North Node is going to be in the 6th house of the United States, right? And that there is going to be a ton of like sicknesses and fears and all that stuff. However, everything has a spiritual fix. And you think that it doesn't, but it does. Even that one thing that you're thinking of that can't have a spiritual fix, it does, like a holistic something. Maybe we don't know it, but we exist on this earth. That means that every little tiny problem that we have can be healed from this earth, right? Every huge problem can be healed from this earth. We were built of it. We have everything we need right here. And that's true of ourselves.
But also, there's like that great spiritual adage or spiritual saying, as above, so below. And I'll be like releasing some of my writing and stuff like that in the future to go more deeply into this. But like really, like just think about life as like a mirror. Like everything that you're doing here right now is like reflecting back into the spiritual realm and like what you can do spiritually. So like if you lucid dream or if you meditate a lot, like is reflecting back down on here. So it's like we sleep half of the time. Like we are in this other realm, like almost half of our lives. It's like I think this is a great opportunity 2022 to like acknowledge that. Like I will tell you, as soon as I acknowledged and I actually said to myself, anything I experienced in my dreams, I've actually experienced. That's a real experience that I had. As soon as I started to do that, that's like when I started to become my most creative. That was before I started my business. I started making money. I started to like literally have like the muse running through me. And before that, it was like nothing. That's when, before I had my Kundalini awakening, like as soon as I was like, I'm acknowledging this realm as real, and I'm going to quit being like, oh, that's just a fake made up thing, because I am experiencing it every single night.
Exactly. There's actually this movie with Demi Moore from like the 90s where she is one person and she goes to sleep every night and she lives an entire life with a different family and she goes to sleep. Yeah, she can't figure out. I don't remember what the name of the movie is called.
I love that movie. I forgot about it.
Yeah. But it's like, it's real though. And that's the one thing, is that sometimes when I think of like, make it on earth as it is in heaven, like Pisces is heaven, Virgo is earth, right? Yeah. And the things that are in heaven, they do become in earth. So like every one of these cards that we pulled had a spiritual fix or a spiritual reason for the physical thing. If you focus too much on the physical purpose of it, you don't really understand. You're basically putting a band-aid on a gaping wound that is trying to come down. And like, this is why I'm like looking at this. I'm like, hey, God is trying to save you here from the rest of it. Like, figure it out before it's too late. Because there's more swords to be fall. Like, there's more shit that can come out of the sky, but you're so trying to just fix this tiny little thing that we gave you here. And I'm letting you know that there's way more and you're not ready for it. And because you can't even accept the good things that I'm trying to put into your head, you can't even accept the beautiful ideas, like the great, like love that comes into your mind when you're sleeping. You don't want to make that a reality. You want to keep it a fantasy. That's your desire because you're afraid of what might happen if the fantasy became real. And you're not pulling that out. Like, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. It's like, well, get it and move on from that. Get it and then see what happens next. Because once you get that fantasy and you make it a reality, there's more, but we're all afraid of that. We don't know like what lies in the unknown, you know? So I think that that's like a really big thing that we are learning in 2022, especially as Jupiter is going from Pisces to Aries to Pisces. It's like unconscious, real life, unconscious, right? Like, it's what can we pull out of ourselves and make it real?
And that's why I think psychomagic, even though like it's probably the thing that I sell that the least people get from me. Like, everyone wants to get their astrology reading or their tarot cards read, but psychomagic is a technique that like actually goes into your subconscious and like makes it conscious. I feel like techniques like that, because psychomagic also works on the body, I feel like they're just going to become way more important and way more powerful. And people are going to want stuff like that because people are going to realize how powerful actually making that subconscious stuff conscious really is. And also, like, again, I don't want to underemphasize the fact that I think people are really going to understand that the actual physical body is the spiritual tool. Like, why do you think people do yoga? Like, the yoga that people are doing is actually mostly yoga that's meant for like adolescent teenage boys. So it's actually like making all people that do yoga like lose their sex drive because it's like supposed to suppress the sexual energy. So anyways, that's a whole other topic of conversation, but like, I don't know if everyone in the whole world needs to be doing yoga if you want to have like a normal existence. I personally had to quit doing Kundalini yoga because I was like high on life, like really, really high, like in an orgasmic state of bliss, like 24/7. And I could relate to no one. So I quit doing it.
It was like when I fast, me and you talked about this, like when I fasted for 40 days and I came out, I was like, everything is love, man. Like, it is all fucking love. And you're like, everybody, what is this real world? I don't know it.
No, like I can't even like go to the post office and have a normal conversation anymore, but like babies smile at me, but like I can't
connect to somebody. Form a complete sentence, actually do business, like physical work. You know, Hades, Pluto rules the underworld, but he also rules commerce, business, all of that. It's our deepest, darkest place. And that's why Hades, Pluto isn't allowed up there. However, you can balance it out. Zeus, Hades, and then there's like Poseidon in the water. And you need all of those energies working in their best places. They can't all exist everywhere. You can't but the problem is that Hades always wants to be Mount Olympus. That's the problem. Hades wants to replace Zeus, and it's like, you can't. Hades, you are down here. That's just it. And people will use you down here, but Zeus is up here. Zeus and you cannot flip. If you do, we're in the upside down. And we will look at these like blessings and this beauty and this like all these wonderful things that could happen in our lives as just pipe dreams, just these stupid things we don't even care about, because the real world is up here, and that's Hades, and that's commerce and business and all that. So it's like, and your body. That's like Persephone. She goes in between both, right? There's like this energy of like, you have to balance it out, and you have to be in the real world, and you have to want competition and all of that. Like, you have to take care of your body. You cannot just release everything to a spiritual energy. However, it is half your life when you're sleeping. Why are we looking at it like it's fucking evil? You know, almost like that is like the upside down though, right? Like, we're like, oh my gosh, the spiritual world is here. It's why spiritual people are fucking annoying, because they're all like love and light down here. And you're like, that's annoying. You live here. And when I got into that energy, and like you too, you're like, yeah, it's so much nicer. And your voice is like much softer and everything is just like more appealing, but you look like an insane person and nobody wants to be your friend. Nobody wants to touch you. And why are we existing on earth if you're not being touched? But if you listen to up here, like in the spiritual realm, it would tell you this is the person you want to touch you.
Honestly, if you want to have like the most spiritually in tune experience of your day to day without becoming a crazy person, and I say that like very nicely, take care of your body
Mm-hmm.
and sleep well. And when you sleep, you'll be able to be all spiritual. And when you're awake, and I don't mean by being vegan and depriving yourself of all nutrients or like starving yourself or like only eating one thing, like eat as to what your body actually wants, no matter what it is. Remember to acknowledge death, which is Venus. So like acknowledge death. Everything you eat dies, even plants. And when you eat plants, you're actually destroying more lives than just eating one animal. So like put it all into perspective. And I don't care if you hate me for saying that, but like put it all into perspective spiritually and do what's right for your body so that you can actually use your body as it's meant to, because your body is like an amazing spiritual vessel. How do you think you dream at night? Because you have a body.
Yeah. And it's like, why are we here? Like, so that our hands can do work that our body tells them to do. This is why ghost spiritual energy cannot build like we can, and like the hands. And that's something that we had to learn with Gemini North Node, because Gemini is the hands. And what we can do with them is very, very powerful. And what we can do with our, because Gemini is also the throat, what we can say and speak, because we have these bodies that allow us to speak. Like our intuition is great, but it doesn't speak. We are the vessel that speaks. And if I get intuition, it's like, Alyssa, tell everybody this. I can decide that I want to fuck that up if I want to, because I have that power with my body to say, yeah, intuitively, I was told this, love your neighbor as yourself. And then I said, go fuck everybody, you know, like I have that ability. That's a very strong power that I have and that everybody has, but they don't even see it.
I like how I'm like, everyone take care of your body, and like, let's crack open another bottle of champagne.
Yeah. Well, champagne is good. It's effervescence. You need to be happy. Like I said, like when I was homeless, living in hotels, I drank a bottle of Andre a lot at night. And I felt better. It was my one moment of bliss before the next day I'd have to wake up and figure out what to do next with my family. And you're like, I don't know. I kind of got addicted to it. I got addicted.
I've never
I got
really
addicted to champagne. I'm not gonna lie. It was an addictive thing.
I never really had that kind of thing, except for when the virus first came. I was so stressed. I was living in a foreign country, and I was like, I'm drinking wine at night. Like I would have like one or two glasses and sketch, but that was like very out of character for me. Like, but I would really like be like, I would feel like I needed it because I was so like perturbed and disturbed and distressed. Like, when am I going to go to the US again? Am I going to be let outside of my house? I was like, I don't know. So I would just like sit there with my sketchbook with all of my windows open, overlooking the ocean at night with the stars and listening to the ocean, and just drink my few glasses of wine and paint and hear the
It was so
monkeys.
beautiful. See, oh, and you were like opening up your sacral chakra.
I was so happy, honestly. Like it was just kind of like I'm drinking wine and I'm forgetting about everything. But it was like three glasses of wine, maybe, or something. But it was still like this special thing. Like,
Yeah.
but otherwise I never really like had that. But that that was like the one time I was like, this wine is like medicine.
It is. It's just because I didn't have to like have as big of an issue. I don't know. I was already like used to it by the time COVID hit. It was just more like, oh, it's the same shit I've experienced all the time. I can't go anywhere. I don't have any like,
Yeah, because
except
you don't have a driver's license, right?
yeah. I got my driver's license last week. Just
You
like,
did?
oh, no, I'm just singing that song.
Okay. Why don't we end this video
Yes.
here and we're gonna come back. But first off, I want to say, or last off, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope that we added some clarity. I mean, what's some advice that we can give everyone what's like one piece of advice we can say for everyone?
Don't take everything seriously.
And 222, 222.
Me too. Yes.
Enjoy life. Remember, you don't live forever. So YOLO and
Yeah. Every man dies, but not every man really lives. And
yeah,
what is a
please.
man if he without desire? Because
Yeah.
Venus is desire. What is a man without desire? If you are shutting off your desire, then you are not alive. And that will slowly kill you.
Yeah, really find ways to really feel alive that don't damage the beautiful spiritual vessel, which is your body. Take care of yourselves, revel in it. Try to learn some practices this year that allow you to connect the spiritual to the physical. It's already there. You got to remove the blocks, and don't be afraid of all the darkness and the intimacy and the amazing sex that is possible.
Yeah. Why is this year all about? This year's a big year about sex. So
Well, people are
unless
always,
you're like 12. What?
oh, I listened to like
I know, I'm sorry, I just made it weird. But like, I mean, like realistically, life is about sex. It's like you can tell how somebody goes after life and how they go after sex. It correlates because it's the same thing. It's the lust for life that we have. And when somebody who is consistently like just going after it is probably also having a lot of sex. Just saying.
True. No, you're absolutely right. And people, you will watch multiple 2022 videos and they're going to say, we're moving away from the Scorpio energy.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's not true.
Bullshit. Scorpio. Bullshit. No, really.
Yeah, because the South Node is where we are at, just like we've been in the Sagittarius energy. That's where we're at. We're going after the Gemini energy right now, but we are in the Sagittarius energy. And so we are in the Scorpio energy going after the Taurus energy. So it's like,
Yeah. We're integrating. I use the word integration, like we're
like
integrating we're bringing our desires into our intimacy so that when we're with somebody, for instance, one example, when we're with somebody, we actually are like really enjoying it, really being present, really being like, this is what I want or whatever, this is what I need. We're like enjoying the depth and the pain and the suffering, and we're enjoying all of it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Because every man dies. Not every man really lives. I just want to say it with a better accent, but I can't.
Oh, Alyssa said it best.
I just want to be like Mel Gibson though, because that's what Mel Gibson says.
But it's perfect. And yeah, like quit worrying about dying. Like there's no such thing as death in terms of like looking at yourself as a full being. Like there's no death.
There's no death. There's only rebirth, like when you really look at it. Mm-hmm. And to be born again into a new life where you are living the way that you want to be. We are naturally taught to suppress our greatest parts. And I definitely see because I have a North Node in Taurus naturally. So this is my nodal return. And my whole life has been learning how to stop suppressing my real self, because all I get told is like, don't be this crazy bitch, like, don't be like that. If you do this, you're going to be crazy. Like if you have tears, you're going to be hospitalized. Like if you go do this, people are going to talk about you. You're going to ruin your reputation, Alyssa. Like if you go do this, you're going to fuck everything up. If you keep doing YouTube, nobody's going to like you and you're going to have no friends. Like all of that stuff. Like, so you better go lock yourself down in a cage. And I did stuff like I would purposely be like, okay, guys, stop talking to me. And I locked myself in a cage on purpose. I chained myself by someone I knew who would chain me. So you're like, you look at that kind of energy, like that's what we're kind of coming out of. Don't let yourself be chained to things just because you think that they're wrong, or like that your primal desires are wrong. Like every time I've listened to myself, I've succeeded. Every time I've listened to somebody else, I've been fucked up.
Me too. 7 of diamonds.
Yeah.
And
that's what this is about. Like you need to just listen to your inner, like, what is driving you? Because what's driving you, you at least need to drive to it. Like that's the thing. If something's driving you, you can be like, no, that's stupid. I can't do that. Or you can just get in the car and follow it and just go to it and then be like, so what's up with this? What is this? Why is it here? Why does it keep driving me? That's all you gotta do.
Vehicles is Venus in Vedic astrology.
I like that. See, that makes sense.
And nobody puts baby in a corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
But yeah, I can definitely relate with all of that. Like anytime I listen to anybody else, I like screwed myself over. A 7 of diamonds. So that's a lot of advice. And I honestly, I will tell you my personal prediction for myself, 222 is my lucky number. This is going to be my year in which I make all my dreams come true one by one.
I like it. Happy 222. All right. Then I will say goodbye, everybody. Come to Nicole's channel and watch our prediction for your own sign as we finish this bottle of champagne.
Come to my channel, subscribe to Alyssa. I have some classes and things I'll just post on my channel. You can see if you want to hang out with me more. And
I've hung out with Nicole in real life, so I can tell you that it's like worth it. I'm sorry.
We do the same thing in real life where I feel like your friend was like not able to handle us. Like Alyssa and I can literally just sit there and talk for like 12 hours straight, nonstop, not eating, just reading tarot cards for each other and predicting the future and like doing witchy stuff. And we're just like, yeah.
We're just like, yeah, there's some more. Okay, like, well, let's toss some more. You want some more in here?
And we're like, okay, and blah, blah, blah. Why don't you read about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And like tarot cards are like flying everywhere.
Yeah. It was a fun time.
It's like
it's 3 a.m.
What?
That's why I got my familiar, my cat.
Yeah, you did. And it was like 3 a.m. and I'm like, oh, do you guys want to eat dinner yet? And you guys are both starving.
So that was really fun. Anyway, yes. So we'll stop this and we'll meet you over on Nicole's channel. Oh my God, they're there. They're just being cute.
Yes, they're loving each other. They're from the same barn as Alyssa's. Okay, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye, guys.